Okay, so I thought I would try to talk about another monster real quick. I guess because it's fresh on my mind. There's I guess another one I want to talk about. I don't know if this is the next one, but Leviathan. That one I think is really fun. That and there's two there that I think are very important, and they're both in the book of Job. Leviathan and Behemoth. And I really, really want to get this across, I guess, the right way, because I feel like this one will be about Leviathan. I feel like if we can understand these two monsters, you see them, they fight each other. I'm pretty sure it's in the book of Enoch that you see that there's this prophecy that they're going to, like, I guess at the end, maybe at the end of days or something, I don't know, fight each other. I can't even remember. I think there's other books where, like, the saints will feast upon both of their bodies. Which, if I can get all this into context, all of this makes total sense. First, I want to say that they're, I guess, mythological monsters. I don't know if they could have been real at one point, could have been physical. I would see them as spiritual bodies. Spiritual bodies of, like, spiritual monsters or something. So they would manifest themselves in the natural, in a real way, but it wouldn't look like an actual dragon or whatever the behemoth is. It would look like a collective body of things or people that pull themselves together under this heavenly idea description. It's a heavenly description, heavenly idea of a frame of being, I don't know how I would say, pattern, I guess, a frame, Leviathan, that, and so it's all the things below in the earth that fall under that category of Leviathan, the heavenly description above. So it's described as a giant sea serpent, a dragon, I guess you would say. I would kind of almost say, personally, I would say it's kind of like the mother of all serpents. It's the serpent, if you would, I think that would be the proper way to describe it. It's the serpent of serpents, kind of like the king of kings or something. I think it's very important. I've said this multiple times before. Most people, I've heard it most described as a creature of chaos, and I think that's true, but the sea is chaos, right? So most people describe the sea, the ocean, as being kind of a symbol of chaos. The Leviathan plays there. I think it says in the Psalms, or maybe it's in Isaiah, it plays about in the ocean. It plays in chaos. It dances in sorrow. It plays in chaos. So it's not, to put it simply, I think it is the serpent. It's the creature of pride, the creature of the pride of man's heart. That's what twists, and that's what's poisonous, venomous. It twists things. It twists the truth. It bites and devours. It plays in chaos. It creates chaos. The pride of man, the pride of man's heart. So yeah, that's the simplest way I can put it. So that is read through the Job. I think it's 41. I think maybe 40. I don't know. And it gives a long description about the Leviathan. And so read through that. It gives the last. I think it's the last verse about him. It says, very simply, it says he is king over all the children of pride. So that's kind of right there. It says that he is the ruler over all things prideful, basically. So it's the divine heavenly creature. I don't know what other way you could describe it. I think it's a perfect description for the way pride works. To say it that way, like if you were saying, man, if you were just trying to describe it in a poetic or a mythic way, you'd say, I saw this beast, and it was this great twisting serpent in the sea, and it was the destroyer of worlds, and no matter how hard man tried to fight it, he could not destroy it, because the more man fights it in his own strength, the more man is just engaging in pride and puffing himself up, because it's not your own strength that you can battle your own pride or battle pride at all. So it's when it's described that way, I feel like it falls in line perfectly. And you see the serpent in Genesis 3. It's that same serpent in the garden. And I'm not saying this giant, huge dragon showed up. I'm just saying it's the same characteristics. Does that make sense? other than maybe being described as large or small, whatever, however you want to picture it, it's the same character. It's a serpent. It's a twisting serpent, and it comes to Eve, and it's the pride of man's heart. It's the pride of man's heart that comes and says, has God really said? Like, don't you want to exalt your knowledge above God's? Why don't you partake of this tree and you be the one who knows good and evil and not God? You be all-knowing. And it's the pride of your heart that continually comes and is twisting in there and trying to accuse others and exalt yourself and play God and assume you know all things in any little weird area or all areas. So yeah, that's the serpent, and then you see it grow, and I think it's described as this great giant serpent in the sea because it's being described as the collection of all humanity's pride in one creature. So it's all the pride of humanity. Like Adam can be described as kind of Adam was like, I believe personally he was a real man, historical man. Like, I'm not going to throw that out, but I think he is also described as an image of humanity as a whole, and all humanity falls under his category of being. And so it's kind of the same thing with the Leviathan. It's all the pride of Adam's heart, all the pride of humanity, all the pride of everything is described in this one really chaotic creature. I don't know what's going on with the camera here. It's like, sorry if that's really annoying to people. Anyway, so that yeah, sorry, I got really distracted. Anyway, that's Leviathan, I guess. I follow up with this. I'll probably do Behemoth after this. I feel like if I can describe these two, then we can see, once you just start to see them in a more spiritual way, you can see how they are constantly battling. We could maybe even write them into more stories properly as these crazy creatures, but even if you don't do that, you can see them throughout the story of humanity constantly battling and butting heads and fighting each other. And you see the Leviathan devour the Behemoth, and the Behemoth fight back, and all this stuff. You could just see it throughout the history of humanity if you begin to see it that way, as a collection of the pride of humanity. And that's kind of where the twisting serpent is. It's chaos in itself, because it creates chaos. Okay, that was one other thing. I just listened to this podcast, and they were saying that, I don't know if maybe this isn't a good thing to go into. I'm still thinking about this too, so I don't know how this quite lays out, but they said you could see Leviathan as toxic femininity, and I think the reason they said that was because everybody sees it as a creature of chaos. And when you get into masculinity and femininity, it's like the feminine is potential, and that's why it's Mother Earth, because Mother Earth is all the potential, the material things of the world. It gives body to things. And the masculine is more like the heavenly idea. It's very hard line too, because when you get into, even with, like, you can even pull in the Loki reference, the free will thing, the multiverse, it's like the feminine would be all the multiverse, because it's all the potentials of everything, and the masculine would be the fine line that they kept showing, and so that's why they did it. I thought it was interesting. I want to spend more time, I thought, with it, but they said the Behemoth is, you could see as a creature of toxic masculinity, where it'd be the fine line that's just gone too far. It's like, this is it, this is the way it is. Yeah. So I don't know how that ties in. It's just a new thought. Chew on it also. I hadn't really thought of it that way. I feel like it will fall into place and make sense. Because if you have the pride of man's heart, it does create all this chaos and too much potentiality to where the world ends up flooding itself. And that's why Leviathan rejoices in chaos, rejoices in the sea, plays about in the sea. Because when the pride of man's heart, when everybody's being their own God, it's just chaos everywhere, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to make sense of it. I don't know. These are just thoughts. I hope they're just not word vomits that mean nothing, because I try to really, really think about what I'm going to say, because I really don't want to say things that are not true. I don't. So anyway, think about everything. Chew on it all. Yeah, always do that. And yeah, spit out the sticks. So that's all, I guess.